So, Karthik, ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம்.
We are live now.
Okay, right. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अगजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे श्रीराम सौमित्रि जटायुवेद षडाननादित्यकुजार्चिताय श्रीनीलकण्ठाय दयामयाय श्रीवैद्यनाथाय नमः शिवाय वागर्थाविवसम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतपितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ वैदेही सहितं सुरद्रुमतले हैमे महामण्टपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुतं तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामळम् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि जानकीकान्तस्मरणं जय जय राम राम नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव सर्वत्र गोविन्दनामसङ्कीर्तनं गोविन्द गोविन्द श्रीजगदम्बिकायै जय जय. In the current series of lectures on Srimad Valmiki Ramayanam, being telecast from the premises of Sri Matham with the blessings of Perival, we have come up to the close of Kishkindha Kanda. We have seen how Rama got the information about Ravana's abduction of Sita from Jatayu, how he made Sakhyam, friendship with Sugriva, how he met Hanuman, how he developed a great liking and respect for Hanuman and his abilities, how Hanuman was entrusted with the task of searching for Sita in the southern direction, and he was handed the Anguliyekam, the finger ring, by Rama. Now Hanuman has started on his mission. Hanuman, as we have seen, was not aware of his strength because of a curse by certain rishis in his youth, in his balyam, in his younger days. And Jambavan reminded him of his strength, and as the appropriate time, occasion had come, he did remember his strength, and he developed his strength, mighty strength. So he started jumping from the top of Mahendra mountain, and a lot of trees got uprooted and started flying with him. That's how the Kishkinda Kandam ends. Now, Sundara Kandam, the word, the very name Sundara Kandam is so beautiful. Sundara itself means beautiful. Why this Kandam was named as Sundara Kandam has been a subject of speculation and research, because all the other Kandams have got meanings, names which have meanings associated with the content. Now, Balakandam is connected with Balya of Rama. Ayodhya Kandam is mainly the crisis which develops in Ayodhya palace crisis. Then comes Aranya Kandam, where Rama enters the forest and his experiences in the forest. Then Kishkindha Kandam, because Kishkindha is the center of all the development in Kishkindha Kandam, Sugriva and Kishkindha. Now comes Sundara Kandam, where Hanuman is actually the center of attraction. Should have been named as Hanumat Kandam by this logic. then Yuddha Kandam appropriate, Uttara Kandam also appropriate. Now, the story goes that Valmiki actually decided to call this as Hanumat Kandam, but Hanuman came to know of it and prostrated to Valmiki, said, no, this is not correct. Please don't do that. And then after Hanuman left, Valmiki named it as Sundara Kandam, and Hanuman could not have objected to that. And the purpose was served both ways, because Hanuman is the name which he acquired. It's not his original name. As all of us know, when Indra used his thunderbolt and struck him on his Hanu, on his cheek, then he became Hanuman. Before that, he had an original name, and that name was Sundara. Since his name was Sundara, which was not known, he became known as Hanuman, Marutatmaja, Vayuputra, and so on. Anjani Putra, and so on. So, Valmiki used a name which was not very well known, and Hanuman could not object. This is one legend which goes with the naming of the Kandam. Of course, there is a beautiful shloka which describes all that is Sundara in Sundara Kandam. Sundare Sundaro Ramaha, Sundare Sundari Katha. Rama is Sundara and Katha is Sundara. The story is also Sundara. Why Rama is Sundara? Rama is Sundara in all Kandams. Rama is particularly Sundara here because the entire Ramayanam, with Rama as the center, is being retold by Hanuman on two occasions, which comes in Sundarakanda. Once he tells to Sita, another time he tells briefly to Ravana, another time he tells briefly to Vibhishana. So, this description of Rama's, of course, the greatest description comes in front of Sita only, his personal identity. There are stories associated with his compassion, like Akasura, which we are going to see. All this happens between Sita and Hanuman. So, Sundaro Ramaha. Sundari Katha, naturally. I think this part of the story is the most beautiful among all the Kandams. Sundare Sundari Sita. Sundare Sundaram Vanam. Vanam, of course, here should be meaning Ashoka Vanam. And Ashoka Vanam is so beautiful. Sita is so beautiful because Sita comes for a major role here in Sundarakandam. Sundare Sundaram Kavyam, Sundare Sundara Kapihi. The Kavyam, the epic, is also beautiful. The verses are beautiful. Sundare Sundara Kapihi, the monkey, the Vanara, Hanuman is Sundara. Sundare Sundaram Mantram, Sundare Kimna Sundaram, Sundare Sundaram Mantram. Mantra is Sundara. What is the mantra? Hanuman raises a war cry whenever he confronts the Rakshasa, which we will see. That war cry is itself a mantra. If you utter that mantra, you will succeed in all your efforts. So that becomes a mantra. That is one interpretation you can give. Another interpretation is Sundare Sundaram Mantram. Ravana mantra can mean mantralochana. A king consults his ministers. Ravana consults his ministers. Vishnu gives his proper address, proper advice, but Ravana does not listen. So Sundare Sundaram Mantra. Sundare Kimna Sundaram. What is not beautiful in Sundarakandam? So goes the verse. But the most important reason why it is Sundara is in all our experiences in life, if some valuable is lost and then found again, what can be more pleasant than that? Here Sita was lost and found. So that is the beauty of Sundarakandam. Another beauty of Sundarakandam is, now Hanuman is the emissary between Rama and Sita. If Rama and Sita are going to unite, it is only due to Hanuman's efforts. Hanuman is the intermediary. Now, this has got a similarity with what we see in Ashtapadis, whether it is Jayadeva Ashtapadi or whether it is Shiva Ashtapadi. Between Krishna and Radha, there is a Sakhi who is the intermediary, who helps in uniting Radha and Krishna, or Shiva and Ambal in Shiva Ashtapadi. So that Sakhi is Hanuman here, and Rama is Paramatma, and Sita is Devatma. Sita is not Devatma for reality. For this analogy, for the purpose of this analogy, that is how a guru takes the Jivatma to Paramatma and helps in the union of Jivatma and Paramatma. Here Hanuman is the guru who takes Sita, Jivatma, and helps her unite with Paramatma, Rama. This is a major interpretation given to Sundarakanda, because that is the subject of Sundarakanda, union of Sita and Rama through the efforts of Hanuman. The first shloka itself is beautiful. Tato Ravananetayaha Sitayaha Shatrukarshanaha Yesha Padam Veshtam Tarana Charite Pathi. He started with the desire to find Sita, and he flew across the sky. Charana Charite Pathi, where Charanas fly. Charanas and Siddhas, you use the aerial route. Shatrukarshanaha. Hanuman is described as Shatrukarshanaha, the person who will crush his enemies. And as he starts, a lot of description is there of what happens to nature, the tremendous force which he employs with his legs, with his pressure on the mountain so that he can develop the momentum for flying. That is described beautifully through various effects, like cinematic effects, We have beautiful effects being described by Valmiki. Then he prays, and then he starts his journey. Sasurya Mahendraya Pavanaya Swayambhuve Bhutebhyashtanjalim Krutva Chakara Gamane Gatim. He prays to following Devas. First is Surya. Why he put Surya at the first? Surya is his Guru. Guru Vandana is always important prior to Deva Vandana that he shows here. So Surya is his Guru. Surya is the Guru from whom he learnt all the Vedas, all the Shastras, all the Vyakaranas, everything. So Surya he puts first. Then Mahendraya, he puts Indra next. Why? Because it is Deva Karya. For the destruction of Ravana is actually a Deva Karya. So he prays to the head of the Devas. Next, Pavanaya, Vayu Deva, who is his own father. Then Swayambhuve, Swayambhu is Brahma. Then he prays to Brahma. Why? Brahma is the father of all Vedas, the source of all Vedas. Vedas means knowledge. So without jnana, without knowledge, no significant action can be ever undertaken and completed. So here he is undertaking an extraordinarily significant enterprise. So he prays to Brahma for jnana, jnana shakti. Bhutebhyashtanjalim krutva. Then bhutas, the five elements, panchabhutas. Because all the obstacles which we face in life are created by panchabhutas. So he prays to them for freedom from obstacles. As he flies, rishis who are stationed in the Mahendra Parvata, they emerge from the caves and they praise. And some rishis are traveling, some siddhas are traveling aerially. They also find Hanuman starting on a divine mission and they pray. They praise him and they pray. And there is Pushpa Varsha, shower of flowers, singing of Gandharvas. Then three major obstacles are being described in the first sarga of Sundarakanda. The first obstacle is Mount Mainaka. This Mount Mainaka is a hill which is drowned in the sea. Now suddenly he makes his appearance with golden peaks. Sudden appearance of a hill with golden peaks disturbs Hanuman, he starts crushing the peaks. Then Mount Mainaka takes a human form and addresses Hanuman. He says, I have come at the direction of Samudra Raja, number one. Number two, I have my own duty to extend hospitality to you. Since you are going on a long journey, please come and rest on this hill for a while and then proceed. This is what he says. Kritam cha pratikartavyam yesha dharma sanatanaha. To return a favor is a human duty. If I have received a favor, I must return it to you in greater intensity. Yesha dharma sanatanaha soyam tat pratikararthi tatta sammanam. So I want to give you satkara, honor you. So please give me an opportunity. Tatta sammanam arhati. Now why Samudra Raja asked him to extend hospitality? Because this is Ramakarya, and Rama's predecessors were Sagaraputras. They dug up the sea when they were finding the stolen horse. This comes in the Ganga Avatarana, Bhagirath story. So, when they dug up the ocean, they created the ocean, they deepened the ocean. So, Samudra Raja is grateful to the solar dynasty itself, Surya Vamsha itself. That is one reason. So, for Ramakarya, he wants to extend help to Hanuman. That is one thing. Secondly, Mainaka himself owes a debt of gratitude to Hanuman. He owes a debt of gratitude to Vayu, in fact, his father. Because at one time, Indra, all these hills had developed wings, had wings. Indra cut off the wings of all the hills because he didn't want hills to be flying and creating trouble in the path of Siddhas, Rishis, etc., who keep traveling aerially. So he cut off the wings, including Himalayas. He cut off the wings of all the hills. But this Mount Mainaka escaped because Vayu helped in pushing Mount Mainaka under the sea. So it escaped the wrath of Indra. So he owes a debt of gratitude to Indra. So he says, Atithik kila pujarhaha prakritopi vijanata dharmam jignasamanena kimpunastwadrisho mahan. Even ordinary atithi, ordinary guest, pujarhaha is to be worshipped. What about you? Tadrisho Mahan, you are a great person, so why you are not dharmam jignasamanena? You help me to protect my dharma. Then Hanuman said, no, you assume that I have accepted your hospitality. Many thanks to you, because I am in a hurry to reach Lanka, so I have no time to rest. There is no time, there is not the time for resting. So I have to go on my mission in a hurry, so I thank you. So this incident expresses Hanuman's deep sense of thankfulness, humility, and resoluteness. He is resolute that he should not waste time. Another ordinary person would have felt emotional. Okay, this man is extending hospitality. Let us spend 5 minutes with him. No, that is our nature. He is so resolute in his mission. At the same time, he extended his thanks and he proceeds on his journey. Now, second obstacle is created by Devas themselves. It's a very strange development in Sundarakanda. He is going on a Devakarya and Devas create the obstacle. Why? Because Devas want to test whether Hanuman is capable of fulfilling this arduous mission, extraordinarily difficult mission, crossing 100 yojanas across the sea, reaching Lanka safely, returning safely from Lanka. It's a superhuman task. Whether Hanuman is capable of doing this, they want to test. So they employed a woman called Surasa, who is the mother of Nagas, to create this obstacle. She took the form of a terrible Rakshasi and she said, I want to devour you. She opened her mouth and Hanuman, of course, said, I am going on Ramakarya and all. She didn't want to listen. Then she opened her mouth bigger and bigger. When she made it 10 yojanas, Hanuman also became 10 yojanas. When her mouth became 20 yojanas, Hanuman became 30 yojanas, and so on. When she reached 100 yojanas, one yojana is 13 kilometers. So 1300 kilometers was the dimension of her mouth. So when she opened so big, Hanuman made himself so small. He has that power, no? He can assume any size. He made himself so small, thumb like Valmiki describes. He took the form of a thumb, and then he entered her mouth and came out. So he said, "I have given you an opportunity to devour, and you didn't devour me." So he was safe. And as this was a test, that Surasa actually blessed Hanuman and for his sharpness of intellect, then started flying. Now here Valmiki says Hanuman, as now he had met with two obstacles. Now he wanted to make up for the lost time, so he increased his speed. As he increased his speed, the clouds which are in the sky started traveling with him. I mean, all this beautiful description you find. Then the third obstacle comes from Simmika, another Rakshasi. Who is the Simmika? She is the mother of Rahu. Rahu, one of the Navagrahas. When we pray to Rahu, this is the shloka we utter. Ardhakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Simmika Garbha Sambhutam Tam Rahum Pranamamyaham. Simmika Garbha Sambhutam. This is the Simmika. Now, she has the power of Chaya Grahi. That means she catches the Chaya, shadow of any person, any object flying in the air, and then that object will come straight into her mouth. This is the power she had. So she used that. She assumed a very big form so that she can catch the shadow of Hanuman. She did catch. So Hanuman found this is a new type of obstacle. So he enlarged himself. Then Rakshasi also enlarged correspondingly. Finally, I mean, this goes on. Finally, with a large form of his own, Hanuman enters Simika's mouth and hits her vital points, kills her internally, and emerges from her mouth. That is how the Rakshasi dies. I mean, look at the two difference between Surasa and Simmika. Surasa was employed by Devas for performing a Deva Karya, so she escaped safely. There also he enters her mouth, he comes out of her mouth. Here he enters her mouth and then kills her because she is a Rakshasi who wanted to devour him. So again, Hanuman's strength, Hanuman's sharpness of intellect, presence of mind, they are all shown to us. Now Devas are so happy with Hanuman having overcome successfully all the three obstacles. They talk among themselves. Beautiful sloka. Yasyatvetani tatvari vanarendra yatha tava dhritir drishtir matir dakshyam karmasu nasidati. They address Hanuman as Vanarendra. They say, you have got four qualities, so you are invincible. Dhritir drishtir matir dakshyam. Dhriti, resoluteness. Drishti, vision. Long vision, dirgha drishti. Mati, sharpness of intellect. Daksham is capability. You may have intellect, you may have everything, you may have Shakti, but there's something called capability that comes out of experience, isn't it? On a computer, if you want to operate, you may know everything about computer, but you have never touched a computer in your life, so you cannot be successful when you start operating for the first time. That comes out of experience. That is Daksham. So he is so experienced in human understanding and conduct, he conducts his affairs so successfully. That is his capability. The karmasu na sedati. He never gets defeated or detracted from his karma. Now, having overcome all the obstacles, now Hanuman looks at Lanka, which is almost 100 yojanas at a distance. Then he travels very fast. He lands in Lanka on the top of Trikuta mountain. And then he assumes a very, very tiny form, tiny monkey form. Tadrupamati sankshipya Hanuman prakrito sthitah Trin kramani vivikramya balir harihi. Here Valmiki gives the example of Trivikrama, Vishnu who took 3 strides. Like this, Hanuman in a big stride crossed the sea and then became small in form. Like Vishnu also took a small form finally when he blessed Bali. So now from Trikota mountain, he sees Lanka, he sees the beauty of aerial view. Now he has a good aerial view of Lanka. He sees the beauty, the splendor, the glory of Lanka. It's all described beautifully. So many ponds, so many sporting places, so rich. On all the four sides of Lanka, it is well protected by deep trenches full of water. Terrible Rakshasas are guarding on all sides. It creates an impression of Amaravati. Hanuman has not seen Amaravati, but Valmiki says Hanuman feels Amaravati must be like this, Indra's city, built by Vishwakarma. This Lanka was built by Vishwakarma for Kubera, his brother. Now, Ravana drove away Kubera and caught hold of Lanka. That is the story. So now Hanuman was worried how to enter unnoticed with so many Rakshasas around. It is very difficult to enter. Anyway, he said, now I have to enter. Now, out of the four methods, Sama, Dana, Bheda, and Danda, Sama, Dana, and Bheda don't work in case of Rakshasas. The three don't work. Only Danda will work. So I will use Danda if required. He thought for a Muhurta. This is one description which you find in Sundarakanda very frequently with reference to Hanuman. Whenever there is an issue, he sits down, one Muhurta, 48 minutes, one Muhurta is 48 minutes, two Nadigas. He sits for 48 minutes, he cogitates over the problem and then comes to a resolution. This we find every time. Now, here also he sits down. Don't be in a hurry. Don't come to any conclusion quickly. That is the lesson he is telling us. So then he decided to enter the city in the night when visibility will be less, without being noticed by Rakshasas. भूताश्चार्या विनश्यन्ति देशकालविरोधिताः विक्लबं दूतमासाद्य तमः सूर्योदये यथा. If the emissary is incompetent, he will spoil the mission of the master. Deshakala virodhitaha. If he takes any step which is opposed to desha and kala, time and space. Tamas suryodaya yatha. Just as darkness gets dissipated as soon as Surya dawns, similarly, when an incompetent emissary starts on his mission, all his work will get destroyed if he is adopting a Deshakala Virodhita approach. Arthan, this is what Hanuman says to himself. Arthantare buddhihi nishchita vinashobhate ghatayanti he karyani dutaha panditamaninaha. If a duta thinks he is a pandita, he is an expert, that is the end of his mission. He should be humble. That is what you find in Sundarakandam always. Hanuman never, not for a second, thinks that he is capable. He is always saying, I am a tiny, unimpressive emissary of Rama. It is Rama Karya which is the prachodana, which is the motivator for me to land here. If I have landed here in Lanka, it is due to Rama's blessing, not due to any effort on my part, any competence on my part. That is why he says here, Dutaha Pandita Maninaha. So during Pradosha time, evening time, he enters Lanka. He finds wide roads, all the description is there, beautiful 7 to 8 storied mansions, gem-studded mansions, golden doors. He sees everything. He sees the moon rising, he sees the Rakshasas guarding, terrible looking Rakshasas. There are some places which are guarded by terrible looking snakes. Then Lankini, the female god, she stops him. She finds a new monkey, she stops him. Aham hi nagari lanka swayameva plabangama sarvata parirakshami ataste kathitam maya. Now Hanuman asks, who are you? Then she says, I am Lankini, I am the god. You cannot go without my permission. Then Hanuman roared like a lion and he told her that he told the truth, I am on Ramakarya. No, initially he tells, I am an ordinary one monkey, I have come on a mission to see the city out of curiosity. He didn't say I am the emissary of Rama. Then she does not give permission. She says, no, you can't come like that. Then he says, I'm an emissary of Rama and so on. Then she becomes even more angry. She stops him. Then he slaps her. The moment he slaps, he does not kill her. He slaps her because killing a woman is prohibited in Shastra. He takes care not to kill her, but he slaps her. And then the moment she receives the slap, she is reminded of what Brahma had told when Brahma had appointed her. He had told her, Sita nimittam rajnastu ravanasya duratmanaha rakshasam chaiva sarvesham vinashaha samupadamataha. When a monkey comes and slaps, you will know that the end of Lanka has arrived. This is what Brahma had told. Now I am reminded of that. Now you can go. You can go and look for Sita. Now he enters with his left foot inside the city. Left foot forward. Left foot is Apashakuna. He wants Amangala for Lanka. Pravishya Nagariyam Lankam Kapiraja Hitankarah Chakretha Padam Sabhyam Che Shatrunam Satu Murdhani. The way he placed his left foot forward, it looked as if he was placing his foot on the heads of enemies, he says. Shatrunam Satu Murdhani. Now he has a closer look at the city. He finds many mansions of different sizes and shapes. He hears a lot of music. He hears a lot of women moving around, sound of ornaments of women. He hears the chant of mantras, Veda mantras chanted. He finds many spies moving around. Of course, he is still in a very tiny Vanara form. He is moving around inside Lanka. He finds many types of weapons, many types of Rakshasas of different forms. And then he finds the four armies deployed. Ratha Gaja Turaga Padhati deployed. And he finds some Rakshasas drunk and making merry in some places. Now he enters various houses because he has to now look for Sita. He enters various houses. He sees several Rakshasas, several women. He did not find Sita. At last he found Ravana's palace. Ravana's palace is described in great detail. 1 yojana long, half yojana wide, 13 kilometers long, 7 kilometers wide. Mudita Pramadaratnam Rakshasendra Niveshanam Varabharana Samhradehi Samudrasvananisvanam. As soon as he enters Ravana's palace, he hears a lot of sounds, various sounds, Samudrasvananisvanam, like the sound of ocean. Varabharana Samhradehi, sound of various beautiful women and their ornaments and their musical instruments. Now, he has a quick look at Ravana's palace. Perhaps he didn't want to enter the inner apartment because it's a huge palace. He had a look as far as possible, as far as he can reach. He didn't find Sita. He leaves Ravana's palace. He goes to other palaces. Now, lots of palaces are described. Prahasta, Mahaparshva, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, Indrajit. Then he didn't find Sita anywhere, so he comes back to Ravana's palace. This time he decides to enter the inner apartments. Antapura. He finds armed Rakshasas everywhere. He finds armies inside Ravana because Ravana's palace is a city by itself, 13 kilometers long. So he finds a lot of armies, a lot of gardens, a lot of palanquins. It was like Kubera's palace, he describes. And he finds Pushpaka Vimana stationed on one side. He goes and sees with great curiosity, hey, what is this? Extraordinary Vimana. He describes Pushpaka Vimana in detail at this point. He says there are many houses inside the Pushpaka Vimana. He is so impressed by Ravana's palace grandeur. Yahi Vaishravane Lakshmihi Achandre Harivahane Saravana Ramya Nityame Vanapayini Satasya Shushabeshala Sadhistri Virvirajita Sharadiva Prasannadyav Taravirabhishobhita. He describes the Vaibhava, the Shri, the wealth of Ravana's palace. Whatever wealth is there with Kubera, it is all here. Whatever beauty is there in Chandra, it is all here. And they are all here without Lakshmi's usual chanchala swabhava, the wavering nature. Without that, there is no wavering here. They are all stationed permanently here. तातस्थ शिशुभेशाला ताभिस्त्रीभिर्विराजिता. A lot of women who have been brought by Ravana, they are all there. Tarabhirabhishobhita, like the sky made beautiful by stars, nakshatras, like this Ravana's palace. Many women have been brought by force by Ravana. It was almost midnight when all this was happening. He finds a lot of women sleeping in different postures in different places inside the inner apartments. In many states, some women are keeping musical instruments. They were playing musical instruments and they have fallen asleep. Some are drinking and they have fallen asleep, and so on. राजर्षिर्विप्रदैत्यानां गन्धर्वाणां च योषितः रक्षसां चाभवन् कन्याः तस्य कामवशं गताः. He has not left any type of woman untouched. He has brought women from Rajarishis' houses, Vipradaityanam, Brahmana's houses, Rakshasa's houses, Gandharvanam Chayoshitaha. He has brought Gandharva women. He finds all kinds of women. Then he finds on a special cot, Ravana was asleep with one face and two hands, not 10 faces and 20 hands, with one face and two hands. Because while sleeping, it's not possible to sleep with 10 faces and 20. It's not comfortable. So he is assuming this is his nature. In fact, anyone can sleep only in his natural form. So this 10 heads and 20 hands are not his natural form. That is shown here. His natural form is normal human form only, one face and two hands. He assumes 10 heads and two forms, etc. whenever he wants to show his glory. Now, by the side of Ravana's cot, he finds another cot in which a beautiful woman is sleeping. That is Mandodari, but unfortunately, Hanuman thought that it is Sita because she is so beautiful, so young. He somehow concluded it must be Sita because anyway, Ravana has abducted Sita, so he must have kept her by his side. Then he started congratulating himself, became so merry. Valmiki describes, he says he did all the chestas, all the normal idiosyncrasies of Vanaras. Tambhanarehan Nipapada Bhumau Nidarshayan Swam Prakritam Kapinam. He goes up and he comes down, he drops down, he wags his tail, he does all kinds of funny things. Then suddenly it appeared to him that he has come to a wrong conclusion. He used his logic and he found, no, this cannot be Sita. Sita will never be in this kind of comfortable position by the side of Ravana. I have come to a wrong conclusion. This must be somebody else. So much of adornment, so much of ornamentation, and so near to Ravana. So this cannot be. Now he is worried. Why he is worried? He has looked at so many women. Now it is going to be almost a daybreak. He is now leaving Ravana's palace because he has not found Sita. Now he is worried. Arey, I have spent the whole night looking for Sita, different places. I have seen different women in different postures, different positions. Arey, I am a brahmachari. I should not have. That too in the night, dead of night. Paradara varodhasya prasuptasya nirikshana. When they were sleeping, I have gone and seen them. This is even worse. Idam khalu mamatyartham dharmalopam karishyati. I have done dharmalopa, violation of dharma. Then, as usual, he sat down, he thought for a muhurta whether I have really committed a sin. Then he came to a conclusion that he has not committed any sin. How he came to that conclusion, he is explaining. Kamam drishta maya sarva vishwasta ravana striyaha natu me manasa kinchit vaikrityam upapadyate. Where can I look for Sita? Only among women, he says. If an object is lost, you will try to locate it in a place where it can be found. Most suitable place, most suitable for Sita to be found is among women only. That's what I have done. And most importantly, I have not developed any vikara in my mind. There has been no vikara. Natu me manasa kinchit vaikrityam upapadyate. There has been no vikara. There has been no change of mind. Vikara means change in state. There is no change in state. I am as usual, shanta, peaceful, tranquil. There is no agitation in my mind. Mano hi hetu sarvesham indriyanam pravartane shubha shubha savasthasu tachame subhyavasthitam. It is actually the mind which is the cause of everything for driving the sense organs. And that is when suvyavasthitam, it is in good state for me. Nanyatra hi maya shakya vaidehi parimargitum sriyavasthishu drishyante sadatam parimargane. So I have done nothing wrong in looking for Sita among women. He concludes like this. Then he goes out, he searches in many gardens, rest houses, art centers, and so on. Nowhere he finds Sita. Then he becomes very dejected. This dejection of Hanuman is described in several shlokas. He feels that his life has become useless. The mission I have come, I have not been able to accomplish. I think Ravana must have killed her. This crossing the ocean with so much effort has become a waste. If I return, what reply should I give to Sugriva? Then he starts thinking of all this. Has Sita fallen down en route to Lanka in the ocean? Has she lost her life? Or has Ravana imprisoned her somewhere? And is she crying somewhere where I have not seen Ravana's presence, maybe somewhere. If she is dead, should I go and inform Rama? If I inform, see, look at the sequence of thoughts. If I go and inform Rama, Rama will immediately give up his life. If Rama gives up life, it will be followed by Lakshmana, Bharata, he goes on. Many shlokas. Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi, Sugriva, Ruma, Tara, Angada, all Vanaras. Both dynasties will be destroyed. Rama's dynasty as well as the Vanara dynasty. The moment I go and inform Rama. So what should I do? Better I don't return at all. I will lose my life here only. I should embrace either Vanaprastha, or I should enter fire, or I should fast unto death, or I should enter water, Jala Samadhi. These are the various options he is talking about. Or I will become a tapasvi and spend my time as a tapasvi. Then finally, after all this cogitation, he says, no, this is not the time to think on these lines. Why not we make some more effort? This is not the time to lose heart, he tells himself. Utsaha, being careful, being enthusiastic is the most important requirement at this point of time. Why am I losing heart? Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo Hitatanam Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha, Bhujastatra Vikeshyami, Nayatra Vikayakrataha. It is not that I have searched every nook and corner of Lanka. There must be many places in Lanka which I have not searched. So I will go and do that now. That is my job. He enthuses himself and then he prays to all the devatas once again. He happens to see Ashokavana from a distance. On seeing Ashokavana, somehow, some sixth sense, he feels very happy. He prays to all devatas. वसून् रुद्रान् तथा दित्यान् अश्विनौ मरुतोऽपि च नमस्कृत्वा गमिष्यामि रक्षसां शोकवर्धनः नमोऽस्तु रामाय स लक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः. This is the beautiful shloka which he uses for praying. And look at the sequence of devatas. There's a beauty in that. Vasun, Rudran, Tatha, Dityan, Ashwinau. The 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, and 12 Adityas constitute 33. These are the sources of 33 crores of devatas. So by praying to these groups, he is praying to 33 crores of devatas. Ashwinau, Marutopicha. Marut devatas were added later on as devatas by Indra, as we know. So he prays to all devas. Then he prays to Rama, Lakshmana. He prays to Sita. Then he prays to Shiva, Rudrendra, Yama, Anilebhyo. Shiva, Indra, Yama, Anila, that is Vayu, his own father. Namostu Chandrarka Marudganebhya, Chandra, Surya, and Marudganas. He prays to everyone. Then he enters Ashokavana, and he finds many types of trees. There is a beautiful description of Ashokavana. It's not just a small garden. It's a huge garden with several ponds, several animals, several golden platforms, golden steps leading to ponds, several birds, flowers, trees, cuckoos and bees are singing. Beautiful. Several hills, several rivers inside the Ashokavana. Then he somehow finds even golden trees. Then he finds a Shimshupa tree. Somehow his attention is going towards this, all due to Rama's grace. He sometimes we find now during our difficult times, somehow we are led to the correct destination without our own knowledge, without our own special effort. That is what happens to Rama. It is beautifully described by Valmiki. Ashokavana is full of trees and full of so many things. His attention is directed to a particular Shimshupa tree by chance, by mere chance. That is where Sita is sitting. So somehow he thinks Sita is expected here. Then he finds, at that time Sita was not there. When he looks at the Shimshupa tree, Sita was not there. She had gone out. But that is her usual place. Then he finds a Kaitya Prasadam just outside, 1,000-pillared Mantapam. And he describes it beautifully, white like Kailasa, because that is going to be destroyed by Hanuman soon. Now he is describing it, white like a Kailasa, he says. Then he finds Sita coming back and getting seated. Tato Malina Samvitam, the first time he sees Sita. Rakshasi Bistamavratam, Upavasakrisham, Deenam, Nishwasantim, Punaha, Tadarsha Shukla Pakshadau, Chandra Rekha, Vimavalam. Chandra Rekha, at the beginning of Shukla Paksha, just when Amavasya ends, it is hard to find Chandra. Very tiny Chandra you will find. She is like that. Why? Upavasa Krisham, because of constant Upavasa, she is so lean. Deenam, she is so poor. Grieved, aggrieved. Nishwasantim, Punaha, she is heaving deep breath of grief. Malina Samvitam, she is wearing a dirty clothes. Rakshasi Bistamavratam, surrounded by terrible looking Rakshasis. She is wearing only one yellow dress, full of tears, full of grief, full of meditation. Only one plait of hair. Women normally have 3 plaits of hair. 3 plaits in a intertwined form, pinnal. But here, because she is aggrieved, she is having only one plait of hair. One plait of hair. That is the sign of grief, shoka. So that shows what is amangala and what is amangala for this. Hanuman concluded this must be Sita. How he concluded? Because of the radiance, in spite of all this, in spite of her Dena look, in spite of her Upavata Krisha look, in spite of all that, her innate radiance shining everywhere, all around her, he decided it must be Sita. Kurvatim Prabhaya Devim Sarva Vitimiradishaha. He makes it very plain. Because of her radiance in all directions, there is a special brightness around her, he says, Valmiki says. But he finds that she is, Tapaswini's appearance with all dirt on her body. On seeing this princess of Ayodhya in this condition, Hanuman sheds tears. He could not control his tears. Manya Guru Viritasya Lakshmanasya Guru Priya Yadi Sita hi Dukkharta Kalo hi Duratikramaha Lakshmanasya Guru Priya. Who is Lakshmanasya Guru? Lakshmana's Guru, that is Rama. Rama's Priya. Now how he describes Sita. He brings in Lakshmana because Lakshmana was the one who was scolded by Sita and now she is paying for her crime. So he brings in Lakshmana here. Lakshmanasya Guru Priya Manya Guru Vinitasya. And Lakshmana is always obedient to his Guru, his brother. But Sacha Lakshmana she is scolded. So he gives an adjective here for Lakshmana. Manya Guru Vinitasya Lakshmanasya Guru Priya Yadi Sita hi Dukkharta Kalo hi Duratikrama. If such a Sita, Guru Priya, beloved of Rama, if she is in this condition, what will happen to ordinary humans? Kalo hi Duratikrama. Nobody can overcome when bad time comes. This is very clear. Why bad time comes? Bad time comes because of our bad karma, not due to time being bad. Time is neither bad nor good. Our karma is good or bad. Accordingly, bad and good times we face. No, kalo hi duratikramaha. You cannot overcome that. Now, a woman in her youth, who should have been in her palace in Ayodhya, she entered forest because of the direction of Dasharatha. Now she has been abducted. He is going over all this story mentally, and then he feels more and more disappointed and aggrieved. Kamabhoge parityakta hina bandhu janena che dharayatyatmano deham tatsamagama kankshini. If she is still alive, it is only because of the hope of union with Rama. Tatsamagama kankshini. Bhartanama param narya bhu. How many shlokas he describes Sita's condition. Vartanama param narya bhushanam bhushanadapi yesha tu rahita tena bhushanarha na shobhate. Husband is the greatest ornament for a married woman. Now, without a husband, she is not shining. Bhushanarha na shobhate. She is fit for the greatest embellishment, but unfortunately, she is not shining. Shena punyam chitam bhumo taram nipatitamive charitya vyapate shadhyam. Bharti darshana durgatam. Like a star which, when evil time comes, falls down on earth from the sky. Like this, Sita is facing this condition. He gives several examples like this. Now, early morning, Ravana comes with a big retinue. Now, Hanuman sees Ravana approaching. Now, from the top of the tree, he descends slightly on a lower branch so that he can get a better view of Ravana. Tato drishtva vaidehi Ravanam Rakshasādipam Pravevatavarāroha Pravate Kadaliyatha. On Ravana approaching her, how Sita behaved. Sita was trembling. How she was trembling? Pravate Kadaliyatha. Like a plantain tree trembling under a typhoon. Ravana comes and asks Sita, why are you afraid of me? I am not come here for threatening you. But to get somebody else's woman is a birthright of a Rakshasa. That is what I have done. And you are, after all, a human being's wife. And human being is no match for a Rakshasa. Why are you worried? Why are you finding fault with me? Swadharmo Rakshatam Bheru Sarvadevana Samshayaha. I have not violated my Swadharma. Rakshasa Swadharma is to abduct other people's wives. Gamanam va parastrenam haranam sampramathyava. Still, I am not touching you. I will not touch you by force. This dirty appearance which you have taken is not at all suitable for you. Go and take bath, wear beautiful ornaments, become the queen of Lanka. This youth will go away tomorrow. Before that, you become my queen. This kingdom is yours. I will conquer the entire earth and hand over to your father Janaka. No one can oppose me. Even Devas, even Indra is afraid of me. What about Rama, a poor human being, wearing tree bark, Valkala, moving about in the forest? Useless man. What have you got to do with him? His survival is impossible in front of me, is doubtful. Nachapi mamahastatvam praptamarhati ragavaha hiranyakashipu kirtim indrahastagatamivab. Just as Hiranyakashipu could not, he gives, see the example he gives. Just as Hiranyakashipu could not snatch the kingdom from Indra's hand, like this, Rama cannot catch from my hands, cannot catch you from my hands. This is the example he gives. Now he is comparing Rama to Hiranyakashipu and himself to Indra. Look at that. Ramas devi nabalena cha vikramaihi nadhanena maya tulyaha tejasa yashato piva. He is decrying Rama in so many terms. Now Sita becomes very, very worried. She starts weeping. Chintayanti vararoha patimeva pativrata. She constantly thinks only of Rama, nothing else. Her thought is always centered around Rama. Patimeva pativrata. Tranamantarata krutva pratyuva jasmita. By putting a piece of grass like she did before in front of her, and we have seen the explanation of that. She starts talking to Ravana. Nivartaya manomattaha sajane priyatam manaha. Turn your mind away from me. You have got beautiful wives. Turn your attention towards them. I am not suitable for you because I am the wife of somebody else. Parabharya sati tava. Somebody else's wife should be a sati for you, woman to be worshipped. After all, you are a king. You must protect other women, not do like this. Arey, have you never undergone any Gurukula course with any good teacher? There are no good acharyas here in Lanka to lead you on path of dharma. Look at the way Sita phrases her agony. Iha santo vanavasanti tato vananuvartase yatha hi viparita te buddhi achara varjita. Your intellect is achara varjita, devoid of good conduct. And there is no acharya to guide you here. It is iha santo navasanti sato vananuvartase. Nobody is here. Because of your fault, the entire Lanka will be destroyed because of one man's fault. Remember that. When you die, people will be happy because the great sinner is gone. And if you think that you can defeat Rama, you are daydreaming. Saktya lobhayatam naham aishwaryena dhanena va. You cannot entice me by showing your wealth. Ananya raghavenaham bhaskarena yatha prabha. Because how the radiance of Surya cannot be separated from Surya. I mean, this is the great description of Paramatma. Paramatma, we are looking at man-woman forms, but there are no two Paramatmas. There is only one Paramatma, whom we are seeing in two forms, man and woman. But they are not distinct. They are not different. They are only one. And what is the example? Example is Surya and his radiance. The radiance is the woman. Surya is the man. So similarly, here Rama is Surya and he is coming from Surya Vamsha. Surya is his predecessor, the founder of his Vamsha. So I am his Prabha, I am his radiance. Here this basic concept of Advaita Vedanta she brings out nicely. Aham aupayaki bharya tasyaiva cha dharapatehe vratasnatasya vidyeva viprasya viditatmanaha. You cannot separate me from him. She gives an example. Pratasnatasya vidyeve viprasya viditatmanaha. A student of Vedas who comes out of Gurukula, he undergoes a Vratasnatam. Now, what we do Vrata on the day before marriage, that Vrata should have been done at the close of Gurukula Vasa. That Vrata is not to be done on the day prior to marriage. That Vrata is conclusion of Gurukula Vasa, having concluded the Vedic study, taking the permission of teacher, leaving the Gurukula and entering married life, entering Grihastha with the permission of the Guru and the consent of the parents. This is the Vrata. That Vrata is done at the Gurukula itself, before the student leaves Gurukula. So such a boy who is leaving Gurukula, he has acquired all Vidya. Will Vidya leave him? No. He has completed all Vidya and then that is why he is leaving. So just as that Vidya will never leave him, I will never leave Rama. That is the example she gives. And Rama is Sharanagata Vatsala. He is very compassionate to those who surrender. Why don't you go and surrender? He will pardon you of your grave insult, grave fault. He will still pardon you. I am giving you assurance. Return me to Rama. Remember what happened in Janasthanam to Khara and other people. She is also giving a good picture of Rama's valor. With single-handedly, he killed 14,000 Rakshasas and your own army of Khara, Dushana, your own brother Khara. And you brought me here through deception. Did you face Rama? Did you fight him? No, you brought me here through deception. So don't continue like this. Now Ravana threatens, this goes on, this dialogue goes on for some time. Then Ravana finally threatens Sita. I am giving you 2 more months. He gave 12 months at the beginning. It appears that 10 months have gone. So he says only 2 months are left. So if during these 2 months, if you don't accede to my wish, I will kill you. I will make you into pieces. And I will have your flesh for my breakfast. This is what he says. द्वाभ्याम ऊर्ध्वं तु माताभ्यां भर्तारं माम अनिच्छति मम त्वां प्रातराशार्थे दूदाख्यस्यन्ति गण्डकः प्रातराशार्थे for morning breakfast. Now Sita says, she gives several examples. Rama is like an elephant and you are like a rabbit and so on. Hare, when you cast your evil eyes on me, how is it that your eyes did not drop down? When you speak evil words, how is it that your tongue did not get separated from your mouth? It's great, it's strange. In fact, I can kill you right at this moment by my Pativrata Shakti. I can do that, but I am not doing it because I do not know, I do not have any instruction from Rama. Because I am a slave of Rama. Without his instruction, I do not want to use my power. Look at the logic she brings out. असंदेशात्तु रामस्य तपसष्टानुपालनात् असंदेशात्तु रामस्य. Since I have no instruction from Rama. Second reason, tapasasya anupalanate. I have assumed a tapasvi's way of life. A tapasvi will not waste his tapas in violence. Natvam kurmi dashagriva bhasma bhasmarha tejasa. Ravana becomes furious. He instructed Rakshasis to use all kinds of methods, the Sama, Dana, Bheda, Danda, whatever, to bring around Sita. That is your job. Then, because he was so furious, Mandodari, who was by his side, Dhanya Malini, another wife, they spoke to him very kind words. They spoke ill of Sita, and then they took away Ravana. Now Rakshasis started threatening Sita. They castigated Rama, they praised Ravana. And Sita said, you can devour me if you want, but I will never listen to what you are saying. At this point, Sita addresses the surrounding Rakshasis, saying that she is a great Pativrata, and she gives the examples of 11 well-known Pativratas. Very beautiful slokas, worth listening to. Great punya to listen to these slokas. Dinova Rajyahinova Yome Bharta Same Guruho. My husband may be Dina, may be poor, may be Rajyahina, might have been driven away from his kingdom. Tam Nityam Anuraktasmi Yatha Suryam Suvarchala, but still I am his constant follower. And she gives 11 examples. Yatha Suryam Suvarchala, like Suvarchala is the follower of Surya. Yatha Sachi Mahabhaga Shakram Samupatishthati, like Indrani of Indra. Arundhati Vasishtham cha Rohini Shashinam Yatha, like Arundhati for Vasishtha, like Rohini for Chandra. Lopamudra Yatha Agastyam Sukanya Chavanam Yatha, like Lopamudra for Agastya, like Sukanya for Chavana Rishi. Sukanya and Chavana Rishi story is told in great detail in Mahabharata as well as Devi Bhagavatam. Beautiful story worth reading. Savitri Satyavantancha Kapilam Srimati Yatha. Similarly, Savitri Satyavan story is also retold in Devi Bhagavatam and Mahabharatam in great detail, worth reading. Kapilam Srimati Yatha, like Srimati for Kapila. Saudasam Madayanti by Keshini Sagaram Yatha, like Madayanti for Saudasa, like Keshini for Sagara. Naishadham Damayanti by Bhaimi Patimanuvrata, like Damayanti for Naishadha. 11 Pativrata examples she gives, and she finally says, Tatha aham ikshvakuvaram ramam patimanuvrata. Like this, I am a follower of Rama. Who is Rama? Ikshvakuvaram. The gem in the line of Ikshvakus. And then she broke down. She cried desperately. Ha Rama, ha Lakshmana, ha Kausalya, ha Sumitra. She cried desperately. Why is Rama not protecting me? Why is Mrityu not coming to me? Ha ha ha. Great savants who have left everything, all attachment to the world, they are great. Dhanya kalu mahatmano munayaha satya sammataha. Jita atmano mahabhagaya shamnasta priya priye. Those who have left their attachment, their hate, such people are great. Mahatmanaha. Ahaha, they are great. I am not like that. Priyannatam bhavet dukkham apriyadatikam bhavet. When some pleasant thing happens, they are not overcome by delight. When something unpleasant happens, they are not overcome by grief. Tabhyam kite vijyante namaste sham mahatmanam. Now she remembers those Mahatma, great thing. See, when you are in deep grief, you should remember Mahatma. This is the lesson she tells us. Always remember great people whose lives will be a torchbearer for ordinary people like us. We cannot think of becoming like them, but at least we can remember them and try to acquire some virtues from their stories. This is what she is teaching us. Now Trijata, Rakshasi, tells her about as soon as Sita prays to Mahatma, immediately look at the benefit she gets. Trijata Rakshasi comes and tells her about a good dream. So I think we will continue with Sundarakandam tomorrow. It should be our endeavor to complete Sundarakandam if possible tomorrow, and we will take up Yuddha Kandam and conclude Srimad Ramayanam hopefully in the next two lectures next week. It is today is what? I think today is 20th. So 20.
Mama, உங்களுக்கு இன்னைக்கு 16th மாமா. இன்னைக்கு உங்களுக்கு 16th, எங்களுக்கு 15th. உங்களுக்கு 16ஆம் தேதி ஜனவரி.
Okay, 16th and 17th. So must be 23rd and 24th. Yeah, correct. Next week.
Next week, 23rd and 24th.
Yeah, so we will try to conclude on 24th, Srimad Ramayana. I thank all the people who were kind enough to listen, and I invite more and more people to take this opportunity. Any questions?
ஆமா, அந்த 11 பதிவிரதாஸ் நீங்க சொல்லினே வந்த சுவர்சலா, இந்திராணி, அருந்ததி, ரோஹிணி, லோபமுத்ரா, சாவித்ரி, கேசினி, தமயந்தி, இன்னும் 2-3 பேர் யாரு மாமா?
ஆயிடுத்து 11 பேர் ஆயிடுத்து.
ஜஸ்ட் இன்னொரு தடவை வந்து லிஸ்ட் கொடுங்க மாமா.
சுவர்சலா சூர்யா first, second is Indra and Indrani, third is Arundhati Vasishtha, fourth is Rohini and Chandra, fifth is Agastya and Lopamudra, sixth is Sravana and Sukanya, seventh is Savitri and Satyavan,
Sravana and
Srimati.
Kritika and Srimati.
Kapila and
Sravana and Sukanya.
Kapila and Srimati.
Kapila and
Srimati. Next is Saudasa and Madayanti. Next is Keshini and Sagara. Last is Damayanti and Naishadha. Nala Damayanti, everybody knows this.
Oh, Nalayanti.
Yeah, Nala Damayanti. Nala is called Naishadha here because he is.
Naishadha.
Yeah.
Madayanti, yaar mama? Madayanti and who mama?
Madayanti is another.
அவருடைய ஹஸ்பண்ட் பேரு மதயந்தி ஹஸ்பண்ட்
சௌதாசா. Yeah, this is from Mahabharata. Yeah,
thanks mama, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think we close now. We have already overshot the time.
Thank you.
नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनम गोविंदा गोविंदा जानकी कांत स्मरणम।